Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of the 72 review. It was called League 1 Review last episode, as you know, but we've decided to change it so Tyler can comment every week if he wants to, and Seb. Sadly he's not here today, but today we have got Tyler with us.
Hello, how you doing? Glad to be back.
We've got Red and White Sunderland.
Hello.
And we've got a new guest in Cod's Vlogs.
Nice to be on the show, mate. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So today, firstly we're going to discuss about Fleetwood's season last season, then we're going to go on to our retained lists. And yeah, so let's start with Fleetwood. How do you think your season went?
Up and down, you can say that again. Obviously, with Barton at the helm, it was always going to be difficult and always going to be challenging. So, an 11th place finish in League 1 with our budget is a good finish for Fleetwood. Sometimes I found expecting a little bit more, but for me, I'm happy with the 11th finish. It's a good place to finish for us, and hopefully we can build on it for next season. Obviously, it's been Barton's first season, so hopefully it's the first of many.
And were there any standout players or standout games for you?
Doncaster away, we've beaten 4-0, or Scunthorpe away, we've beaten 5-0 away. They were both class games on the front foot, scoring 9 goals in 2 games, and obviously playing highly attractive football along the way.
And were there any games where you thought this is a really, really bad performance?
Scunthorpe at home, funny enough, where we lost 1-0 and we only had 1 shot on target, or Shoutout away 0-0. They were poor, we were poor.
Thanks.
Obviously, no, it was a poor game, to be fair. It was awful conditions, it was awful.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so I can't really judge.
So, probably the worst game I've watched in football, to be fair.
So does anyone else have any questions for Ben?
Who was your best signing?
Best signing? Harry Shoutout. He came on loan from Stoke. He filled the gap. Obviously, we had defensive problems, conceding quite a lot of goals, and he was a big tall unit at the back and calmed us down. Otherwise, Ted Evans.
Right, anything else for Ben?
No, I haven't got anything to say.
That's it, I think.
Alright, so let's move on to the topic of today's episode, which is our retained list. So, Tyler and Charlton's came out yesterday, so what are your reactions on your retained list?
Well, we had 10 players that were out of contract that actually expire next month. So we knew that we had a job at hand. We knew we had to decide who we were going to keep and who we were going to get rid of. And in the end, 4 of those players have been offered new contracts, and 6 of them have left the club. We've offered new contracts to Bauer, Aribo, Forster-Caskey and Fosu, which 3 of them I'm really happy with. Bauer and Aribo were such key men to our season this year. Bauer, of course, scoring the goal to get us promoted, and Aribo's been class all season. Forster-Caskey, I think it wouldn't be fair if we didn't give him a contract because he's been struggling with an ACL injury all season. So he's only made 1 appearance in the league all year, so it's good that we got him a contract. But Fosu for me makes no sense because he's been left out of the squad since January, not on the bench whatsoever. But apparently we've given him a contract due to compensation, to sell him off. But there's a risk because if we don't get rid of him, we'll have to pay his wages for another season. But I don't understand why we got rid of why we've kept Fosu, to be honest. And as for players that we've released, Breathegills gone. Josh Parker's left, which I'm very glad he's gone, to be honest, because he was probably one of our worst performing players. Ben Reeves is gone, which is a shame because I felt he had a good season with us. Mark Marshall is gone, which I think was the right decision because he's not really good enough for Championship football. I like Marshall, his work ethic's really good, but he's not good enough for Championship level. Nicky Jose's gone, he's not really... Didn't really, yeah, thanks for that. Didn't really hit the ground running, to be honest. When he signed for us back in 2016, he never hit the ground running after signing for Swindon. But then the biggest and most shocking departure of all was Johnny Williams, which, to be honest, makes sense as well because his wages were too high, and we nicked him off Palace. Palace were playing the majority of his wages, and we couldn't afford to get him. But yeah, it's a real shame to see him go because I feel like he'd be a class asset.
Sorry to put in, but Johnny Williams in the cup, and the final was when he came on, he was really good.
He was. He changed the game in my opinion. But it's a real shame to see him go because I think in the Championship he he'd do really well there. But to see
yeah, well, he done good with us in the Championship. When a season where we were really, really poor, he was probably one of the standout players, even though he was injured.
Yeah, it is a shame, but at the end of the day, like our club, like financial situation is not great. Like our budget's very small, so to supply a player like Williams' wage is near enough impossible for us. So it makes sense that he's gone, but I'd love for him to stay.
Right. So moving on to Sunderland. So obviously your retain list hasn't come out yet, but are there any players that you think will leave that are coming to the end of the contract?
So we've got a youngster called Kim Pioko. If I'm right. No, I'm sure it's Kim Pioko. We're going to get him a new deal. We've offered him, but I don't think he's accepted it, which is a shame because he was a standout player in most of our performances in the Checker trade other than the final because he didn't start. He was a standout player and he is one for the future, I'd say. Dylan McGeoch, I think his contract's expiring this year, so he must have only been handed a 1-year contract. But I think he's going to Blackburn. I think that came out today. So good luck to him, but he hasn't really performed. But obviously we've got Catamol, who is a lot. I don't know the exact wages, but he's the highest earner in the league. Fair enough, he's done good. What he's been like, where he's been playing in, like CDM, he scored like 6 or 7 goals or 8 goals this season, which is good. He has been a standout player, but it's the wages which are way too high. He's on like 30k wages, which is more than it's more than probably 1 or 2 teams, like full teams in our league, which is a bit disappointing. Well, he might be going because he deserves captaincy. But other than that, I can't really see anyone leaving. Maybe some youngsters, like youngsters always leave and move on. But I don't think we'll have any big players leaving.
So do you know a date when your retain list will be coming out?
There isn't a confirmed date. Obviously, it's normally around the same time. But obviously, because we had a week or 2 weeks added onto our season, it's changed, hasn't it? So I think either this week or weekend as it is, or next week, I think it will come out, and hopefully no one's goods left. No one's really indicated that there will. I think last season we were hoping that half the players went, but this season we're hoping that half the players stay. But I don't think anyone will leave, but yeah.
Alright, now on to Ben. So has Fleetwood's one come out yet?
Yes, it came out 2 or 3 weeks ago. 4 players were released: James Wallace, Joe Maguire, Hull Jones and Ryan Taylor. Ryan Taylor, obviously known for left back Newcastle, played abroad a few times in China. He left the club actually in February, to be fair, but wasn't announced till the end of the season. I think Joe Maguire is off to Crawley alongside with Ashley Addison, who's out of contract but wouldn't sign a new deal. Paul Jones obviously was our reserve goalkeeper, which not too fussed about losing him. And obviously James Wallace, he can return to the club if he doesn't have a new club, but I don't rate him at all really. I think he's a poor player.
So now moving on to Gillingham, the players that were released were Luke O'Neill, Alex Lacey, Billy Bingham, Ryan Huckle, Tom Hadler and Louis Cafferel. I was a bit shocked about Luke O'Neill leaving. He was our starting right back. I will miss him, along with Billy Bingham, who has already found a club. He's going to Bromley, which I think is just like, he does not deserve to be in the National League, definitely. Maybe like League 2 maximum.
Wasn't he your vice captain as well?
No, that was Callum Riley.
Oh,
who is?
I remember saying Bromley.
Yeah, Callum Riley's still on the contract. I believe it's running out next season, I think. Then with Tom Hadler and Louis Cafferel, both goalkeepers, I think there's the right decision. They're never going to be good enough for the first team. And then the players that offered new contracts were Thomas Holy's already declined the contract and he's going to Ipswich. We've got Tom Eaves, who is most likely to decline it, as he's got interest from Ipswich, Luton, Millwall. I think Portsmouth are in the race for him. Sunderland were, but I think they've lost interest. And then Tom Eaves.
Oh, Tom Eaves, yeah.
I definitely think he's going to leave, personally. I think Eaves is leaving.
No offence, but I think he's too big for the club.
Yeah, same. Like, his last 2 seasons, he scored last season 21 goals and the season before 17 goals, so I think he is too good for us.
However, if you think about it, Tom Eaves don't really score goals for you. You were a club that took a chance on him, and he's worked well, so he might just think, I might just give another year, or I'm happy here. Obviously, I know he's got family down there, so you never know.
Yeah. I think he's on holiday in Brazil at the moment, so we won't find out where he's going for another week or 2. And then the rest were Aaron Simpson, Ben Chapman, Bradley Stevenson, Jack Tucker, Henry Woods, and Jack Morrell, whose current deal expires in December. So he's been offered a contract now. I'd like to definitely see them staying, as they're all quite young, all have potential. Especially Bradley Stevenson, who I believe is going to grow into the next Bradley Dack. He's really, really good. He made his first team debut against Millwall last season in the Carabao Cup, and he was one of our best players on the pitch that day. So I'd like to see all of them sign back. I'm not shocked about Holy leaving. We was all expecting it, but I was quite sad about him leaving. And then, yeah.
So has anyone got any? Is anyone's clubs actually signed anyone or looking to sign anyone?
Oh, we've signed Conor Ogilvie from Tottenham.
From Tottenham.
Yeah, he's been on loan from us. Yeah, for the last 2 seasons, he's been on loan. He's been exceptionally good for the last half of the season. For last season, when Zakawani got injured. So we had no centre-back, so he filled into centre-back, and I thought he was amazing. He's a left-back, but I don't really think he's good at left-back, and he's much better centre-back. So I'm happy that we signed him.
Yeah. What about Fleetwood? What were you saying about, have you got anyone signing up, or signing up?
Well, not getting my hopes up. Charlie Adam has been training at the club for the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's good mates with the chairman, he's good mates with friends at the club. He lives in the local area, so maybe that could be pulled off.
Yeah.
That'd be a great sign.
We'll see in up and coming days, or weeks. Because there's still a long time left in the window.
So I've got a question for everyone. So from obviously before the transfer window, or before you've signed players, where do you think you're aiming to finish for next season?
Who's this for?
Start with you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, I think, what did you say, where are we aiming for next season?
Yeah.
Obviously, with us being Sunderland, we always want the best in the lower leagues. I know it sounds stupid, but we do. Obviously, every fan will be saying we need to win the league or Jack Ross out. I don't agree. Promotion is promotion. If it's a title or if it's not, we'll go up. I'd rather not go to the playoffs, but it depends on who we sign really, because we've got a League One team. I think it might sound stupid, but I think we need to go for either a young players in League One who are League One proven and who have got a great future, like a future, maybe like a championship future. Who maybe if we sign them for $1 million, we might sell for $2 million in the future. Because we've signed Will Grigg for $1 million, we won't get that $1 million back 100%. Not after we've been performing. But it depends really, because if we get Marcus Maddison, he seems like a great deal. That centre back who we've been linked with, he looks like a good player, but he's also interested by Rangers. So it's between Europe or League. Are all them in League Two?
Yeah.
I think they are. It's between going Rangers, which are European football thing, to or us, which is obviously a big decision. But yeah, I think he might come to us, but there's no further talks on that. That's not 100% true, but it's not 100% false. So we're gonna have to see who we get out in the up and coming weeks or months, because the window's, as I said, been open not for that long to be fair, but it's still open. I think it opened a couple of weeks ago, but I think get Madison, potentially a new strike, because we can't rely on Charlie White or Will Grigg, because they're just not good enough to rely on. Other than if we find Will Grigg to score more goals, which I think Jack Ross will somehow do. But look at what he done with White. I think he'll find a great system for Grigg and he'll start scoring the goals. Also with McGee, if he stays, which I'm hoping he will. I'm sure he will. There's no rumours on him going, but if we keep him, he'll be another good goal scorer. Especially Maguire's good, getting a couple of goals a season. Looks like Catamola's in League One as well. So I don't know. I think we're aiming. I think we need, because obviously Jimmy Dunn's gone. I think we need a new maybe centre back, or maybe two centre backs actually. Maybe Marcus Madison, who would be a great player to get. So a midfielder and possibly one or two strikers. If the striker league, we'll get two. So yeah, I think if we get a couple of reliable players, a couple of good players, I think we will win the league. 100%.
Alright, now on to Tyler, who obviously is a bit harder as your first season back in the Championship.
Yeah.
Well, for us, there's a lot of work that needs to be done at our club right now, with the uncertainty of our owner, because the fact we need our owner to sell this season, because our budget is quite small for the Championship, but there's uncertainty around the ownership. Our manager Lee Bowyer and assistant manager Johnny Jackson still haven't been sorted out new contracts yet. It's been left quiet, so we don't know if it has, but the fact that we've released 4 strikers in our retained list, Jose Vettekele Parker and Agate Fairchild, it kind of makes me feel like that we have plans for the transfer window and we need to sign a lot of players. We need 2 strikers at the minimum. We need probably 2 central midfielders. We need a left back and we need a backup goalkeeper. But for me, I think our main ambition for the Championship is to stay up. I think that we've got to try and stay up this year. I reckon realistically we'll finish around 15th to 19th this year. I think realistically, but I don't know. I think our main ambition is to stay up. But right now, with the squad that we have, we're going to go down. No questions asked. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. But I think Bowyer's got his intentions. He's got his plans. So I think if he can get the players that he wants, I think we'll stay up.
Alright, now on to Ben.
15th at the moment. We haven't brought in the players yet, so we just need to bring in strength. I think Barton will have more pressure on him, and I don't think we'll have a good season for me. I think, obviously, with the pre-season coming up we're back on the 26th of June. Last time we were in 2 weeks earlier than any other League One team. We were the earliest in. I think that started to show. We got tired toward the end of the season. But I think this year, if we bring in the right players, I think we could go for another top 8 finish.
Right, now going on to Gillingham. Obviously, we've got a new manager, Steve Evans. He last summer at Peterborough, he signed Ivan Toney and Matt Godden for $1 million. But, with both of them added up, we didn't have that sort of budget. We have a very, very small budget, and Paul Scally has revealed that Steve Evans will get a really small budget. Most people have, from the table predictions I've seen, most people have predicted us to finish in the playoffs, which is way too much for us, I think. I think maximum top 10 finish if we have a good summer. I think we will have a good summer despite our small budget. The last kind of 2 summers we haven't spent a penny, but Evans has been given some sort of budget, so I feel like we're going to have a good window, and I feel like we might get a top 10 finish if we're lucky if we do get playoffs, that'd be absolutely amazing. But I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I don't rate Evans personally. I know he's got a good CV. I think he signs players. I think he'll start off well and it'll slowly slip. I think he's a bit of a bully, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think he's a bit. You saw what Crawley players were singing after they got back to back. We're all singing because the fat man's gone. It just shows you what kind of the players react, and the players are huge in football now. You looked at Ranieri a few years ago. As soon as your players stop playing, your manager's finished.
Well, Evans has a bad history at the club, so people are going to be boycotting whilst he's at the club because of, I think it was when he's Mansfield manager or maybe before. He tried to take our manager at the time and our fans to court for racism. So people are going to be boycotting. I'm not. I think it's a very good appointment for us because recently we've just been having like non-league managers such as like Steve Lovell, who was at really small Kent clubs before coming to us, and he did an amazing job keeping us up for the last 2 seasons. And like kind of during the season we had like quite a good run. His first season we went unbeaten for like 11 games, I think. So I feel like Evans will do good with us, and when we start doing good, I just want to see all those boycotting fans running back. Yeah.
I do think Evans is proven in this division, 100%. But I feel like the thing that he lacks is consistency, and that's evident in his time with Peterborough. Because Peterborough started the season brilliantly this season, and then they just slumped off massively in January, and he was actually sacked in January when they the playoffs.
Wasn't he? Peterborough top of the league for like top first 10 games, they were like top of the league.
Yeah, they were flying, and then they all of a sudden just fell apart, and then Evans got sacked, and then it just went downhill from there. I think it's a good appointment for Gillingham, but I feel like he needs to keep his consistency. Like Ben said, I don't really rate Evans, to be honest.
I personally believe if you keep Tom Eaves, you will get about. I think you'll start off really well. He likes to play football. He likes to play it long. He likes to play direct. He likes to get it behind the defence. Especially in League One, it's a chaotic defending. So I think with Evans, I think he'll be absolutely brilliant with Tom Eaves. But if you can keep him, I'm not sure. I hope you do. I've got a lot of respect for Gillingham. I think they're a good club. I think they've got good fans. And I would like to see him in the playoffs, to be fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love it if we made it to the playoffs, but I just really don't see it happening.
Well,
you never know. Football's a strange game. You never know.
Fleetwood got there the other season. I remember watching Fleetwood at Port Vale. We lost 2-1 November, and we were quite bad. We lost 2-1. After that game, we went 18 games unbeaten. I remember we scored last-minute equalisers against the likes of Southend. We beat Coventry in the last minute. We went to Sheffield United and won. We drew to Charlton in the last minute, which is a game we should have won. It's in the last 10 minutes with the bar, with the post. They had a man sent off. And it just takes a real mould. If you go 5 or 6 games unbeaten, it's just breaking into that mould and making sure you can keep on that mould and making sure you can keep the team morale up. One defeat and Evans is already going to be like, has Steve Evans done at Gillingham? It was like that at Barton.
Right, is there any questions that anyone has that they want to spin around?
Well, I've got a question. So, this is just a general question. What do we all have thoughts on? Because obviously, all of us in here are League One, other than Tyler. So, what do we? I don't know. What do you think the difference is with League One football or Championship? Do you think it's attacking wise, defensive wise? Is it just on
it's
the
massive.
pitch different?
It's massive. And Fleetwood have never been. I watch a lot of Championship football. The quality, you go to the likes of Sheffield United, Leeds compared to Wimbledon. That's your big step. You're playing in front of 40,000 instead of 4,000. The the quality in the final third. The team can, instead of 5 or 6 attempts, it takes one big attempt in the Championship. Championship is such a good league. You look at especially last year. You had Villa, West Brom, Leeds, Derby, Norwich, Sheffield United, all flying. And even at the bottom of the table, it was Rotherham did all right towards the end. But then you have got. I think League One's quite a weak league, to be honest with you. I think it's a poor league's football standard. I think.
Especially defence.
You get grafters, but it's a big difference between that and the Championship.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can prove a point in League One, but is it the same as let's say James Collins? He's proved a point in League Two and League One, but will he prove in the Championship? That's a good question.
It's hard to say. I think Luton will come down for me. I don't think they're good enough.
Yeah, same. I think Luton will go back down, to be honest.
I don't know. I think Charlton will stay up on the last day. I think Luton will be mid-table. I don't know why I'm thinking
I think
that,
Luton will stay up.
I feel like they'll be like bottom mid-table, so maybe 15, 16.
Yeah.
I don't know. About League One. Another question. What do people think about who will win League One, and the two teams who will get promoted via obviously automatic and playoff next season?
I think the early ones to go for are Portsmouth and Ipswich to win the league. So I think it'll be them top two then. The playoffs are really hard to call at the moment. It just depends about the summers and like how they start the season. But
because for all we could know, Gillingham couldn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
League One, there's always a team that do well. This year,
there's always a team what's surprised.
Luton last year was Shrewsbury, the year before was Fleetwood. So, but the problem is if you don't go up, it's a big problem for you. Because Fleetwood the last season finished 15th, but should have been in relegation until they changed managers. Shrewsbury nearly went down this year. If Gillingham had a good season next year, didn't go up, I think we should have the next year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think this season's either make or break for us. Because if we don't get promoted, we're going to be stuck in here for I think a couple more years. Because we won't get investment what we need. We won't get investment what we've been promised. The owners will sell up, and we'll be left with some millionaire instead of 2 billionaires and a millionaire. So
I think that is definite, to be honest. I think for Sunderland this year, like you said, it is make or break. Like, you guys have to get promoted this season, otherwise your club will be in a very dark place for a long time.
It gets harder to get out of the league. It really, really does. It can. Look at Leeds. Like, they're a good club. They've got great fans. Everyone takes them in, but they're so good. They do play good, but they find it so hard because 46 games is a lot to go over. But obviously, fans-wise, I believe, like Tyler said at the start, I believe you'll win the league next year. I think you'll get over. I think you could challenge for 100 points.
I think
now you've had the year.
Could,
I think you've just got to buy into it and believe now. You're not a Premier League club anymore. You're not that big.
That's what.
Historic. You're a League One club now. You're in the same league as Wimbledon and Fleetwood. You've got to grasp Fleetwood Town, Wimbledon.
Yeah, because if you look
should not be playing Sunderland.
Yeah, if you look at the likes of Wimbledon, they're not a good team, but they beat West Ham 4-2 this season. What a game they played as well. It just shows if you do graft, if you put an effort out there, you will win. Which, to be fair enough, it wasn't a strong West Ham team, but they brought on they did bring on that. Was it Felipe Anderson or whatever you call him? He's one of the best players they've got, and he experienced them losing 4-2 to Wimbledon. So it just does show that it's just a bit. I don't know. It's different because if that was a Premier League game, if that was Liverpool versus Brighton or something like that, obviously Liverpool would go out to win. It'd be an easy game, but it's different, which it's a bit weird, isn't it? Especially seeing scorelines like that from a Premier League club and a League One club, you know. It is mad, regardless. Especially that they were 24th in League One at that time. that was even like that just made it really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if you but I don't know Fleetwood even. Do you know? I don't know if you meant like buying. I didn't know if you meant like spend money in that, because I think if you did, I think I do agree with you, because we do. It proves that we can't just get players on frees. Because fair enough, we have had a couple of free players this season. Like look at McLaughlin, we got him on a free. He's been superb this season. We've got a couple of others on loan. I think we've got Chris Maguire on loan. He's had an amazing season as well. So it does show. I think we've got Ledger on a loan as well, actually. So it does show that we do get some, but we can't rely on them, because if we want to get promoted, we do need to spend, and we do need to have a passion, because we've got a Premier League fan base, we've got a Premier League stadium, we've got everything Premier League, but we're a League One club, so we have to work around it. Doesn't matter if we've got a 40,000, 50,000 seat stadium. We spent £18 million on a training facility last year. We've got one of the best training facilities in the UK. We've got one of the best youth systems. Yeah, if we've got one of the best youth systems in the world, it doesn't matter, because we are still League One. So that's my point.
And also, like you say, other clubs are getting big training grounds now and matching you.
Yeah.
Fleetwood's training ground, £9 million it's worth.
Yeah, well, we spent £18 million on. We spent £18 million on a complex. It's like a learning facility. If you get it, so like it's not like an actual training facility. It's like teams can hire it out and play there. Obviously.
Yeah.
It's got like free.
Yeah. That's a good thing with football now. Pool foot's the exact same. I study there every day, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, it's more of like an educational football thing. So it's like you learn like football there. Some like school trips will happen there, if it's anything to do with Sunderland. It's got like a lot of different uses for it. But that was £18 million. And that was the last thing our last owner spent on us, which was a great thing to do. To be fair enough. But to be fair, I think we've got an amazing training facility as well, because we've got all them pitches, and then we've got equipment which we don't really need in League One. It's Premier League style stuff, if you get me, machinery and stuff like that. It is useful, I suppose, because no one else in the league will have it. But yeah, but it just does show it doesn't matter if you've got the biggest stadium in the EFL, if you've got the best training facility, if you've got everything you need to be a Premier League club. You're still the club what you are because of the league and the playing squad, to be fair. So that's what annoys me with Sunderland fans, because they always say we're a Premier League club, we should be in the Premier League. We're not. Get over it. We need to push out there, get all the wins we can, and just get promoted.
Yeah.
One step closer. Yeah, so has anyone got any questions?
I do just want to add on a point like you were saying earlier about you not like Sunderland not being able, like not having to rely on free players anymore.
Yeah.
Like just look at Charlton this season. Like we signed 10 players this year without spending a penny. Like we signed Lyle Taylor on a free. You scored.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Some of them do work out. Some of them do work out. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, we signed 10 players on a free this season. I think it was like, how many loans did we get? It was like 6 loans, I think. I'm not too sure. And we got promoted with it. But in the Championship, like, because we got relegated back in 2016, and the Championship is so much more competitive now than it was back in 2016. Yeah. And I'm just worried for our club that we're going to be able to make the step up to the Championship, because with the players we've let go and the situation the club's in, because we've got to sign at least probably 6 or 7 players for next season to have any chance of staying up. Like, we can't rely on free agents for long. We've got to sign players on a permanent.
Yeah, well, I think we can't do that either as well. But don't get me wrong, like Taylor has been a great player for you, which is pot luck, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pot luck.
To get him on a free is unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm sure. What club was it at before?
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon, yeah.
Yeah, he finished as their top scorer 3 years running.
We wanted him, but apparently we didn't offer him a goal bonus or something like that.
Yeah.
Which it was just going to be a goal bonus. For God's sake, fair enough, he's a striker, but Jesus Christ, what's it going to be? A couple of grand every time he scores. If he scores 20 goals, we've got. I'm sorry, but our owner's on about investment, and he's on about, oh, we're going to get this. I don't know, this Russian billionaire. We're going to get this Spanish billionaire in. Which, don't get me wrong, he has done, but you know, putting a goal bonus on, it doesn't really affect anything, does it? If he scores, he scores. If he doesn't, he doesn't. You know, so he can't be saying that he needs to invest in the club. He cares more about taking the money out of the club, but acting like a good person than he does actually do stuff for the club.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he's helped this club massive this year. We went from losing £200,000 per day to, well, where we are, we're not losing anything, which is great. But that's just because of common sense, really. Why would you be paying 70 grand per year to a? Don't get me wrong, he was a good Premier League player for Everton, Jack Rodwell. Why would you be paying 70 grand a year? 70 grand a week for him when he's refusing to play?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's refusing to play Blackburn as well. The club he was out of Bolton. I forgot what club it was.
Yeah, I think Blackburn have transfer listed him actually.
Yeah, no, he's ruined his own career, to be fair.
His attitude stinks. Like Jack Rodwell's attitude stinks.
Yeah, he said he wants Sunderland until I die. What he said.
Yeah, his attitude there was awful. Like I felt really sorry for Martin Bain as well. Like when he received the phone call saying that Rodwell's going to stay there, like I see him slam the door in that episode. Like that showed passion from Bain. Like, but Rodwell's
he seemed like a good guy, but he just wanted the best for the club. I think that's why he left. Well, no, why? Well, he got sacked eventually, I think. But
I think
it was a mutual termination. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does show, but I suppose he only wanted the best for the club, but he couldn't get it really. He was making a lot of stupid decisions as well.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for the sake of Charlton that Roland de Châtelet decides to finally sell up, because if he's still here come Championship seasons kicks off, if there's going to be problems, because he hasn't invested in the club for at least a year now. He keeps saying he wants the club to be sold. He tried to give us away for £1 this season, for God's sake, but and now he wants 65 million for us, which is absolutely barbaric, and he's going to up the asking.
That's no offence, but I don't even think I want to say we're bigger than you. Obviously, in league
mate, we're not worth 65 million. No way. With the state of clubs, we're not even worth 10. Right.
Technically, we should be worth more than you because obviously all of our assets and all that. But we're not worth 65 million.
Yeah, no way.
I suppose our owner did buy us for 40 million, but he actually wanted the club instead of it's weird because he was the only owner, but then he's brought 2 more people in, so I'm guessing he doesn't have to pay as much. But I think it's all been sorted out now.
Yeah.
But our owner who the original one, he's not worth 40 million. He never had 40 million pound. That's why he had to get this the Uruguay's richest man in or something like that. To basically just pump money into the club, which hasn't really worked out this season because look at us, we've got 40,000 new seats, been 2 trips to Wembley, we lost twice and we haven't been promoted, so shows that some things good happen, but not all the time. Not all the time good things happen, just selective stuff will happen good.
Yeah, I just really hope he goes, because for God's sake, he bought us for 18 million back in 2014. He's barely invested in the club since then. He's not been to a Charlton game in 5 years, and he's barely invested. Got us relegated to League One, and now he wants to sell us for over triple the amount that he bought us for, which I think is absolutely disgusting.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think many clubs even in the Championship, maybe even a couple of teams in the Premier League, are even worth 65 million.
Yeah, no way. We're not worth that.
Actually, saying that fair enough for the Premier League, maybe because they get 100 million per year, don't they? Regardless if they get relegated, but still, you get my point, don't you? So
yeah,
it's stupid. 65 million.
It's disgraceful.
No offence, but who has 65 million pound to spend on a team which might struggle in the Championship and get relegated to League One?
No one, mate. No one.
Exactly.
That's why he's scaring parties off. Parties being scared off because of it.
Yeah, other than if it's someone like our owner who has a genuine thing about the club and actually wants to get somewhere. But
Yeah.
just I feel bad for you
It's a
because
shame.
we've experienced Premier League down to League One, and to be fair, I'd say it's a bad season, but from outside of looking in, it's not been that bad really. But for our ambitions for last season, and like all the things, I'd say all the money he spent, but he's barely spent anything, our owner. If that's because of FFP or not, I don't know, but
Yeah.
because obviously we aren't earning as much as we used to. Fair enough if he wasn't investing in the Premier League, because we got £100 million if we win the Premier League, but we're earning like probably only 10% of that now, which is a big difference. Anyways, anyone got any more questions?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to it myself, to be honest.
Even with me.
Yeah, so
We're
that
done
has
then.
been 72 reviews.
Thank you for listening to 72 Review. Thank you for Quad Vlogs, Red and White Sunderland, and Tyler for coming on
No
this
worries,
week.
mate.
Been a pleasure.
Been a
Hopefully we'll
pleasure.
see you on here
Yeah,
again. Yeah, we'll see you for the next episode, and yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you later.